This guy was exploring an abandoned house when he heard noises coming from outside. When he went to go investigate, this cloaked figure was in the background. I'm gonna roll the clip right now.
Bismillah.
This is Ed Warren, here with Lorraine. All right, let's get started.
Cursed TikTok accounts that you should never watch, number 4. Coming in at number 4, we have Sinister Terror. This is one of the most cursed TikTok accounts that I've ever seen. This account is filled with cursed videos from the dark web that will give you nightmares and headaches.
Just recording some pretty little houses. Whoa, did you see that? That was lightning. Oh wait, no, it was a freaking portal. Okay, so if you haven't seen the video about the portal, go back and watch it because this isn't gonna make any sense. But anyway, what had happened was we were on family vacation in Atlantic Beach, North Carolina. Okay, there was lightning and thunder, so we're like, let's go for a drive and just see the scene, you know, the whatever. We come out of these houses and they're so freaking cute, so I started to record them and on Snapchat, and I was gonna send it to somebody. And then this happened, and I thought it was lightning, and even in the video, I'm like, whoa, did you see that lightning? But then I was like, dang, that's not lightning. It's like a straight freaking line. Lightning doesn't do that. Also, this was 2 years ago, and I posted it on Reddit and Instagram and Facebook, and nobody cared about it. Nobody. So everybody that's saying I posted this for clout, I've held on to this video for 2 years, okay? And I'm glad people care.
Sorry, but what the fuck is that in the back?
Mate, what the fuck is that?
What is that? Look. Wait, Elliot, look. Look at my phone. Mate, sorry.
No,
what?
let's just go.
Wait.
Did you know that after the Japanese tsunami in 2011, some pretty weird things happened? The tsunami hit northeast Japan after an earthquake, and it was huge. The death toll was around 20,000 people, and in an instant people lost their lives, their homes, their livelihoods, their businesses, everything. And in the months and the years that followed, taxi drivers began to report some pretty weird things. They would pick up lone passengers, and those passengers would be soaked to the bone, and they would ask to be brought right to the devastation zone, generally to an address that just didn't exist anymore. By the time the taxi driver would get there, the passenger would have disappeared. This became such a regular occurrence that taxi drivers literally started paying the fares for their ghostly passengers.
Is seeing a doppelganger a bad omen? In the 1980s, a family is watching television in the den when the mother asks the daughter to go fetch her a blanket from the other room. The girl has just grabbed the blanket out of the closet and is turning to leave the room when she sees her little brother standing in the corner staring at her with this creepy look on his face. She's like, "How did you get here so fast? I didn't even hear you get up." The boy doesn't respond. He just continues to stand there staring at her with this creepy look on his face, and she notices he has a gray cast about him. She's freaked out, so she books it back into the den and is startled to find her brother asleep on the floor in front of the television. That night, she has a nightmare where this creepy version of her brother visits her in her dream and tells her her brother is going to die. At this point, she thinks she's losing her mind, so she doesn't tell anybody any of this. Not 5 days later, her little brother was walking home from school when he was hit by a car and killed instantly.
So as of late, there's been complaints from Netflix users that when they log on, this screen pops up. Then it just freezes. Now take a closer look. Mosquitoes, double helix, and this is a shot of the Americas. Mosquitoes all in red. Now most users think nothing of it, back out of Netflix, go back in, everything works fine. But a large amount of them are raising the obvious question. What is it? What does it mean? Some believe it's a warning. Others believe it's the government showing us what's to come, because they believe that when they show us what's about to happen, that it gives them some roundabout right to go through with it. Now by it, I mean this. A Bill Gates funded firm released 150,000 genetically modified mosquitoes into the wild. And by wild, they're referring to the United States, namely Florida. And they will continue to release 12,000 mosquitoes every week for 16 weeks. In hopes that by the end of the year, over 20 million mosquitoes will have been created after mating. Now how does it work and why are they doing this? Well, I'm glad you asked. First, the why. The proposed objective? To curb malaria and the dengue fever. And they're going to do this by using the Aedes aegypti species of mosquito, being that the females of this particular mosquito species carry and spread the diseases while the males simply can't. So Bill Gates funded Oxitec out of the UK would genetically engineer the males to carry a certain gene. This particular trait or gene gets passed on to the offspring, killing the female offspring in the early larva stages, while allowing the males to be born continuously carrying the trait, hoping that by some miracle they can actually defeat Mother Nature and kill off all the females in this particular mosquito species. But good news, guys, they've already ran test trials, so we aren't the guinea pigs. In Brazil, Malaysia, Panama, and the Cayman Islands. Now at this point, Oxitec hadn't received regulatory permission to release them in the United States until recently. It apparently started in May. Notice how this one kind of flew under the radar? And I couldn't help it. As I was reading the articles, a couple questions popped into my head. As a US citizen, I currently live in Michigan. How many people do I know that have ever had dengue fever and or malaria? 0. So of course, I took the liberty to look it up. Here you'll see which countries are the main contributors to the malaria cases worldwide. Notice that the US percentage is so small, they didn't even list it. And as I continued, I found that only 2,000 people in the United States per year get malaria. The vast majority of those cases were immigrants and or travelers from foreign countries. Hardly any domestic cases. And now the dengue fever. Only 70 local transmitted cases in Florida and 10 in Texas. So what's the real agenda here, Bill? Stay.
This abandoned nursing home in Texas is one of the scariest places I've ever been in my life. It was shut down a number of years ago after an incident when an elderly woman was left in a locked van right here in front of the building in the Texas heat, and she died alone. As you can see, a number of people have broken in here over the years, but since all the windows are boarded up, there's only one entrance and one exit. If you continue walking around the side of the building, things get even creepier. When I was in there in the past, I was hearing footsteps and voices, and I even found a doll that was wrapped with some sort of wire. And shoes like this don't just appear out of nowhere. Someone has to be visiting this place. I definitely think it's haunted. If you want to see me explore this place at night, literally at like midnight in the cold of Texas winter, go check it out on my YouTube channel. The link's in my bio.
something out of the corner of my eye, just like, I feel like I'm going crazy in here, bro.